Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 8th annual APIDA College Day. My name is Annabelle Franco, and I serve as the Assistant Director at the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office. We are excited to have you join us for this virtual workshop, Funding Your College Journey from Start to Finish. What is financial aid? Financial aid is money to help pay for college. Funding can come from different sources, for example, the federal government, from the state, the college you're intending to attend, or scholarships. This includes grants, federal or state, scholarships, work study, which is student employment, and student loans. Student loans is funding that you do have to pay back when you're done with college. Some key steps in the financial aid process to help you all understand where to begin and where it ends is first you have to create an FSA ID that is for yourself and for your parent if parent information is needed. But you also have to complete a financial aid application. There are two financial aid applications that are available. One is the free application for federal student aid, which is FAFSA, and the other one is CADA, which is a DREAM Act application. This is offered through the state of California. Once you complete the application or during the application process, you'll be listing colleges that you're applying to. And that will be a school code that you can search by or by the school itself, the name of the school itself. But you'd want to have them listed on your application so that they then receive your financial aid application to begin reviewing and determining your aid eligibility. Once all of that is done, they will send you a notification and you will review your financial aid offers. Again, this will include what is financial aid, which is grants, scholarships, student employment, which is work study, or loans. You also want to ensure that you accept and decline by the deadline, whatever it is that is established by that college or university that you're attending, because everything has a deadline attached to it in regards to the financial aid process, especially when there's a limited time to respond. Oops. Important timelines. So as I said, there's deadlines, but there's also very important timelines to begin the process and when generally the process ends. The process begins when the application becomes available, which is October 1st of every academic year for the up year coming. So for any of our senior years, or for any of our seniors, you want to make sure that you've applied for financial aid for 26-27 because the application opened this past October. Some state and colleges have deadlines, as does the state for state funding. And generally the deadline is a priority deadline of March 2nd or the early part of March. Whatever school you're intending to apply to, you want to make sure you make note of those important deadlines because if you miss it, you could miss out on some important money. And at the same time, you want to watch out for any of the financial aid offers that are awarded to you or you're notified of, which is generally an email coming to you from a financial aid office. And those generally come during the spring semester. If you've applied early on in October, you abide by the deadlines that are established, which is spring in the March month, then you'd be offered an award letter with all of these different awards that you're eligible for. Now, some institutions, like for ourselves, we have a decision acceptance deadline by May 1st, or actually submit your documents by May 1st, so that we can determine your aid eligibility before the start of the fall semester. So it's very important to keep track of these important deadlines so that you're on track to receive funding or be notified of funding before you begin. Therefore, you can start to plan. Some tips for all of you, for our students in general. Again, you want to apply very early, especially when the financial aid application becomes available, which is October 1st, because some aid is on a first come, first served basis, especially when funding is from the state, as they have priority deadlines for your application to be submitted. You always want to ensure that the information you provide on your application is accurate. That could include any tax information or income that not just applies to you, but also applies to your parents. You may also want to connect with some of the local high schools or colleges because they could offer financial aid workshops to help you complete your application more accurately instead of trying to figure it out on your own. So you definitely want to connect with those resources as they become available. And the other tip for our students is to make sure you also check your emails and any of the college portals often, because that's how the college in general, or financial aid in general, will connect with you. They will send you email communications to go, hey, go do something on your student portal. And you want to make sure you do that often so you don't necessarily miss any deadline, or you have questions and the answers right there in your email. So you want to make sure you check those very often. And if anything, definitely ask for help. We have resources on campus, whether it's the financial aid office, student services, any type of these types of departments or offices are here to help you understand the process, look up your account, and walk you through what you need to do to ensure that you have financial aid available to you and any other questions you may have. For our high school seniors, this is very important for all of you. Not that the information prior to wasn't important, but this is very important because there's a timeline to get started with all of this information. As I shared, you want to start your application process early, October 1st, and the financial aid season begins around that time. And if you're going to be attending Sac State, you'll want to add our school code, which is 001150. And that is the same school code that you would apply either for the FAFSA or the CAIDA. We have a priority filing date of March 2nd, and this is for you to submit your financial application, whether it's the FAFSA or the CAIDA, Dream Act application, I should say, for a state aid eligibility, such as Cal Grants and middle class scholarships. That funding is very limited and does require a March 2nd priority deadline for your application to be submitted. Now, if you're applying for Cal Grant for the very first time, March 2nd is the deadline to get that GPA verification submitted by your high school. So ensure you're connecting with your high school counselor for that to be submitted. Now, March 2nd is right around the corner. And if you don't know, go ask and see if that's been submitted for Cal Grant eligibility. So you definitely want to get in the application in before this date so that you don't miss out on some limited funding. Now, during the spring semester, which is March through April, Sac State will begin sending out financial aid offers. So if you're coming to Sac State this fall, then we will start sending you financial aid offers through your CSU email account, Sac State portal, while after your application has been processed. So again, you want to check your emails and check your Sac State portal often so that you are well informed of what's happening with your financial aid application and awards. Sometime before the start of the fall semester, which is late spring and in the summer, you'll want to go out, if you haven't already, accept and decline your aid package. And that will be either grants. Actually, grants are already accepted for you. But however, we will be offering you loans and any other types of aid programs that are not free will be offered to you. So you want to make sure you go take a look to see what's there. And you'll be directed to go to your My Sac State portal once you log in. It'll guide you exactly where you need to go to view and view your awards, accept and decline your awards at that same time. Now, also on your Sac State portal, you will see some items on your to-do list in your hold sections, as we call them. And some of those are going to require action by you by certain dates, by certain deadlines. So you want to make sure that you do review your holds, your to-do list, so that your funds can disperse on time, because once your fall begins, you'll be very busy trying to get to your classes, buying your books, parking passes, and all of that. And you don't necessarily need to worry about funding if you already are ahead of the game. Once fall starts, that means enrollment has begun. And once it begins, then disbursement occurs for financial aid applicants. So you will be notified when disbursement happens on your account after you enroll in certain amount of units. Then, funding is coming. How funding works is usually the aid that you receive pays for your tuition fees. And if you're living on campus and there's housing costs, financial aid then will cover that. If there's any remaining balance that comes out of that, then it'll be refunded to you. Or we can also work with the students in case there's any funding, if there's any debts left on the account after financial aid disperses. So you definitely want to take a look at your student portal just to make sure that everything is good to go and there's nothing left for you to do. So a quick summary for our high school seniors, just real quick. Create your FSA ID if you haven't already, completed your FAFSA application or CADA application. Also for your parents, there are contributors on your application, so they also need to have an FSA ID created. If it's a FAFSA applicant for CADA, our Dreamers, they can sign their application online. You want to complete your application early as possible, but very important before the March 2nd deadline. You want to ensure that you're listing Sac State as your school code, because if we're not on it, we won't get your application, and you're already a little late in the process of getting us information to you if we're not on your application. You want to submit your documents early, so make sure you check your MySecState portal. The priority document submission deadline is May 1st. So the earlier you get your information in, the sooner we can communicate with you. As soon as we communicate with you, we'll let you know where to go to review your award offers and accept your aid that's been offered, which is primarily loans. But make sure you go and see what's there. If you have questions about the awards that you have on your account, you need someone to help you walk through them. We have a student service center that will help you through that as process as well, to help you understand what's being offered and reasons why those awards are on your account. And as always, monitor your MySecState portal for updates. Again, that's how we connect with you. We email you. We still email you. When we email you, we'll send you there because everything is centralized there, not just from the financial aid office, but from any department or office on campus that is student-centered is going to communicate with you via your MySecState portal. So really good, quick tips for success. You want to apply it early and check your email regularly. It can be a hassle checking your email regularly, but it does pay off in the long run, especially when really you want to concentrate on your classes at the start of the fall semester. And with that, concludes our presentation or our virtual workshop for today. If you have any questions specifically regarding your financial aid account, anything that you've been notified of, you'll want to connect with the Student Services Center. All of our financial aid services are centralized within that department, as they're almost like a one-stop shop for various different departments on campus. You can call them at 916-278-1000 option 2, or you can also connect with them via email, which is available on their website, and that is www.csus.edu//SSE. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.